something new in my George Foreman Evolve grill. I'm going to go ahead and make pizza from pizza dough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the baking pan, and I'm going to be using the top grill plate. And the baking pan is pretty much non-stick, but I do like to use parchment paper anyway. I just find it's easier to get in and out, and I just like the results of it. So what I've done is that I've bought one of those cans of pizza crust that you get in the refrigerated section, and you just sort of open it up and roll the pizza dough out. And I've cut it in half because half of that can fits perfectly in here. So I have it here on my piece of parchment paper. I'm just going to lay it right inside of the grill here and get it centered properly. And I have a jar of pizza sauce. So we're going to go ahead and pop that open. Get my spoon here and go ahead and get that on. And you can do this as thin or as thick as you like. And then what I like to do, a little tip, is that the pizza sauce that I don't use, because you're not going to use a whole jar to make a little pizza, is I'll just put it into an ice cube tray and put it in the freezer, and then when the little cubes are frozen, I just pop them out and put them into a Ziploc bag, and then I can defrost however many cubes I'm going to use for my next pizza. Works out really well. I don't like really thickly done pizza sauce, so I've got that on there. I'm going to go ahead and move us up a little bit here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply some toppings, and I have some cheese I'm going to put on. I actually bought this cheese the other night for another recipe. I couldn't figure out why it felt kind of weird, and it just wasn't what I was familiar with and how it was behaving. And I just noticed about 5 minutes ago when I pulled it out of the freezer that the reason why is that I bought the wrong cheese. This is imitation. So it tasted alright. I didn't really notice a difference too much in the recipe, just in how it was sort of coming out when I was taking it out of the bag. So just going to try to use it up. The other nice thing about using parchment is that even though this is a non-stick pan, when you use parchment, anything that falls over the side of the pizza, like this cheese is kind of coming over the edge, it's not going to burn onto the pan. It's going to kind of just melt onto the parchment paper, and when you take the parchment paper out, you just pull the cheese right with it. So then I've quartered some of these large salami rounds that I got in the deli, and I'm just going to put those on there. And you can do any sort of toppings you want. Normally I would also add olives, but I am out of olives and I forgot to get them when I was at the store. So I'm going to do that. And then I also have some fresh mozzarella that I've sliced up. I want to use it up, so I went ahead and did that. Oops, that one's kind of a thick piece. And I like a lot of cheese on my pizza. I'm sort of bad that way. But I have imitation cheese, so I guess it'll balance out. Sorry, I'm trying to use my mozzarella up. So I'm just going to add a lot onto this pizza. It looks good. And then I actually discovered a trick when I've done something before where I had toppings on a something that I've cooked in here, is that the cheese will actually burn on the grill, the top of the grill plate. So I usually like to put a piece of parchment paper right on top, and the cheese will kind of get gooey on the parchment paper, but then you just scrape it right back off. It kind of keeps it from burning, so then you don't get that sort of problem on there. We're going to go ahead and close it. And the directions said to cook this at 475 or 425 for, let me see here, it says 9 to 13 minutes for a thin crust, which is what I have there. Add 2 to 4 minutes for additional toppings. So because this is probably going to cook faster than a conventional oven, I think we're going to set it for maybe 14 minutes, and then we'll see how it does. So I'll see you in a few. All right, time's up. Let's see how we did. So you can see the parchment paper did fine. Nothing is sticking on the top grill. And it kind of sticks a little bit to here, but not too bad. And like I said, I just sort of use a spatula. And you can see the cheese kind of comes right off. So it doesn't really stick very badly at all. See that? And then there is that delicious looking pizza. Holy smokes. Even with that imitation cheese. So we're going to go ahead and pull that out and put that onto the counter, and we'll see how the underneath of it kind of worked out. And here's the beauty of the parchment paper. I'm actually going to just lift it right out. Easy as you please. So here's our pizza, looking great. I'm going to kind of adjust this a little. We're going to go ahead and have a look at the underneath of that. Oh yeah, look how beautifully, let's see if I can get under there. It's really hot. Crisp up really nicely. I don't know if you can see, but we're going to try here. Wow, it's just really hot. Can you kind of see how nice and brown that came out underneath? We're going to let this cool down a minute, and then we're going to cut into it. This has cooled down a few minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and cut into it. I don't have my pizza tool handy, so we're just going to have to do our best here. Nice thin crust, the way I like it. And you can see it's done really well. Everything's cooked through and it looks delicious. So this is an actual success. So this is how you can do pizza in the George Foreman Evolve grill. So go ahead and give it a try. I think maybe next time we might even try dough that we've made ourselves.